So we're going to continue to talk about the holding environment. First, do you have sound? Is it good? We good? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So I'd like to talk about the holding environment in everyday life. Because when we aren't sitting on the cushion, we are in our day and we're running errands and we're taking care of business and we're taking care of children and parents and all kinds of responsibilities. And how do we learn to set up the holding environment on the fly? This is really actually a very important part of our practice as lay practitioners, right? It's not just about sitting on the cushion. It's about how do we bring these skills off the cushion and into our life? So when we begin to practice in this way, what we're doing is we're beginning to strengthen mindfulness and strengthen resilience and strengthen compassion. None of us are there yet. None of us. We are all students. We're training our hearts to be wiser and kinder and steadier. Let yourself practice. This is messy business. On the cushion, off the cushion. It's very messy. All right. Formal practice, though, is kind of first and foremost. Firstly, it puts a stake in the ground symbolically. It makes a statement that practice is important, that our intention to live in accord with non-harm and goodwill is what we're orienting toward. And so for a specific amount of time, when we do this, we're setting aside, we're deliberately stopping what we're doing, our everyday life. We're stopping what we're doing. We're interrupting and we're resisting the restless, agitated impulse to think and speak and do, and let the muddy waters settle. Just a bit, just enough. In any given moment, just enough. Can we just let them settle? Let go of some tension. And as the dust begins to settle, as the mud begins to settle, we start to see and feel things that we couldn't previously see when we were immersed in the doing of the activities. We actually start to see what we were thinking, see our attitude, feel the tension that's being held in the body. On the cushion, we have the luxury of time and space to play with. How do we relax this tension? How do we let go of this incessant thinking? How do we soften a little bit more and learn how to not put another log on the fire, as Bill Morgan likes to say? We could say that actually formal practice is more like our personal laboratory for life. All kinds of visitors are going to pass through the holding environment of our guest house, sweep through the whole thing. And slowly we learn how to meet these guests, how to greet them, how to welcome them. And from them, we directly learn what they need to settle down. So these visitations on the cushion are actually quite important for helping us to practice what we will eventually encounter off the cushion in our daily life. And they will come unbidden and at inconvenient times, I guarantee you. You know, it's never a good time for anger or fear or depression to roll through, honestly. None of us like to feel any of that. But through the repetition of regular formal meditation practice, by repeatedly setting up a holding environment that can hold, or at least begin to hold, those uncomfortable feelings, we learn to make the mind and the body a little more pliable. We learn to cultivate a certain kind of stability and resilience just by practicing again and again. But it's much harder to restabilize when we're on the move, right? When we're in the busyness of our life. It's a whole other matter. We could say that daily life practice is more like opening night at the Improv. No dress rehearsal. There's always only the unpredictability of the present moment that's going to meet us, and our ability to call forth an embodied posture of wise, caring attention. This takes practice, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of patience, because we will forget many times. We do many times, and we will catch ourselves many times. And when we do, how quickly can we notice? How quickly can we notice being caught up and then come back to center? How quickly can we hit the reset button and come back to center? Now, I like to think about that actually as a game. How quickly can I notice and hit the reset button and come back to center? So this is actually my encouragement, is that all of you begin to play with setting up the holding environment off the cushion in the middle of your day. I call it a portable holding environment because it goes with you wherever you are. We only need to remember. And what do we need to remember? We need to remember the coordinates for feeling back in to the holding environment. Now, the coordinates are always the same, whether we're sitting, standing, lying down, or walking. We use the body, the breath, the heart, and the mind. Those are the coordinates, those four, for setting up the conditions for an embodied posture of caring attention. But as if a beneficial presence was standing with us at the grocery line, encouraging us through words and action how to soften, settle back into a patient posture of standing. So right there in that moment that we notice, here we are standing in the grocery line, and we notice we might take a breath and withdraw attention from the experience of pressure and charge in our body and begin to sense into the contact with the ground. Exhale and stay in the body. And now we may begin to feel the grip of the hands on the cart and maybe soften them just a little bit. Or notice how we're agitatedly moving back and forth between our feet and maybe just settle them both down onto the ground. Or maybe notice that our shoulders have ridden up to our ears and we just allow them to drop back down. We resettle and all right, let me come back into standing here. And actually, we might even notice that the handlebar is a nice little support for letting our head and our face and our shoulders soften out of the tension. We may notice that our breathing is kind of shallow and fast. And with that, we can, with that move, we can begin to just extend and lengthen the inhalation, breathing in and drawing the attention, tethering attention all the way down through the body into the base onto the ground. And then just stay with a nice long exhale and just let the breath restore some kind of natural, easy rhythm. You settle into a comfortable rhythm. And then we might tune into the heart-mind and actually notice there's a lot of grumbling and a lot of irritation going on and a lot of experience of compression and lack of compassion. No warmth. So we might then just sort of sense that internal push and pressure and begin to very gently say, there, my darling. There. It's okay. Just kind of hang out here. We can't rush it. The people in front of us are taking as long as they're going to take. Let's just kind of cool it out. And as we notice this, we begin to ease up on the agitation and irritation just by bringing attention to body, breath, heart, and mind. These are the areas that we give attention to, whether we're on the cushion or off the cushion, right? How quickly can we help the whole of the organism to come back to home base, to a sense of center, as much as possible in any given moment? This is reconstituting the holding environment, and we can do it anywhere. The Buddha didn't suggest that we be mindful only on the cushion. It's a mistake to think that we only practice on the cushion. He suggested that we learn to practice in all four of the classic postures: sitting, standing, lying down, and walking, because these are the four postures that will get us humans through our day. So my encouragement today is that you play with taking your practice off the cushion. Try for a few moments at a time. All right. We're not going for any steady state here. There's no like steady state of peace of mind. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be scrappy. But how often can we notice and just get our bearings again and reorient toward coming out of the lock of stress and coming into a little more ease? So you might pick maybe, for example, a couple activities that you routinely do during the day, like maybe doing the dishes or washing your hands or getting yourself dressed or making the bed. And you just pause for a moment before or in the middle of the activity. And you just drop in and you adjust the body so that you feel the body in whatever posture it's in, and you help it to feel comfortable. Open up breathing, and then adjust the heart mind. Adjust it to that posture of caring attention, as if making the bed for yourself mattered, so that when you walked into the bedroom, the room looked nice for you, or that you got yourself ready and dressed for the day in a way that felt kind and caring. What a lovely thing, right? Or you might choose just to do it randomly, 3 times, one time in the morning, one time in the afternoon, one time in the evening, randomly, just whenever you can remember, just drop in body, breath, heart, mind. How quickly can I adjust? Just the body, the breath, everything to be a little bit more comfortable. Freshen it up in there. All right. We're practicing playing this instrument, this wind instrument, and we're learning to tune it so that each time it comes back, it can feel a little bit more comfortable in its skin. How many times can you remember? That's the ticket. But for now, just try 3 times, hitting the reset button. Play, nothing heavy-handed. Appreciate all of the moments of playing. All right, we're learning how to live mindfully, not just on the cushion, but in our everyday life. We can do this. It's for our welfare. All right? We can do this. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for your attention. Okay. All right. So now, if you would, I'd like you to just kindly give attention, to your body. Open it up. See what it needs at this hour of the day. For all of you, different time of day. What do you need? Make a little more room. Open the body, move, breathe. Sway. If you're sitting, just maybe sway, rock the body back and forth. Roll the head around. Roll it in one direction and roll it in the other. And maybe roll the shoulders around. Maybe going backwards at first, and then forwards. Let it feel good. And maybe just rocking back and forth and undulating the spine as if you were a sea kelp in the ocean. And there was a lovely current moving the sea kelp up and down in this lovely, swaying, undulating way. And now begin to settle it into stillness. Not too tight, not too loose. And if it helps, gently close the eyes and let go of the external world and turn the attention squarely inside. And take the attention and gently place it down at the base of the body and feel the body making contact with the chair, the cushion, the floor. Get a feel for that sensibility. And just take attention now and feel around the body, the space around the body. Nothing in front, nothing in back, nothing on the sides. So the body has as much room as it needs to soften and widen, to relax. Now gently tune into breathing and feel the body has its breathing. And maybe just deepen or extend the inhalation a little bit and the exhalation a little bit so that the breath body can open and relax. Let it have as much room as it needs to breathe. And see if you can bring an attitude of kindness and acceptance into the mix. So we allow the body to be just as it is, as comfortable as it can be. And we allow breathing to be just as it is. And instead of giving attention to our thoughts, we give attention to creating an attitude of kind acceptance. Maybe once more breathing in and refreshing that posture of caring attention. And feel the ease that's available right now and breathe with that experience of ease. This is the fruit of practice. And drop in the awareness of context. All of us sitting here with you, and you sitting here with us. Each of us alone together, making room for ourselves and each other. This is a gift. This is a holding environment. Thank you for your practice. Thank you so much. Let me stop the recording.